I grew up in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, where my dad was a cabinet maker. Kind of gave me a passion for woodworking.
I grew up in Saskatchewan, Canada. I went to college for a finance diploma, and then I worked in the banking industry for about 10 to 12 years.
Well, we had a friend of ours whose house burned down, and they were going through the insurance process and realized that they needed someone to build their house, and he contacted me. He wasn't comfortable with any of the references that he'd been given, and Jen and I talked about it, and we thought, like, what a great opportunity to get our feet wet in managing a whole project by ourselves.
We had been building in Canada for just over a decade, and we started summer vacationing on the Pend d'Oreille in North Idaho, probably about 5 years ago now. And 3 summers ago, we decided to spend the entire summer here. And at the end of summer, we both looked at each other and said, "Do you want to go home?" And we both shook our head and said no. And so here we are.
So coming down here and starting completely fresh, not knowing anyone, it has been a little bit challenging, but I feel that all of our connections that we've made so far are really strong connections, people who value the same things that we value.
We have found trades that actually want to learn new techniques or use new products.
A lot of them have been fairly excited even about learning new products that are out there and new techniques to actually make a home a more efficient space. I look at it like a competition amongst myself, like how can I do something little in this house that's really gonna like help our scores at the end of the day, and then put that as a standard practice in our builds.
I love everything about the process. I love the design process when we're trying to sort out blueprints. I love picking out flooring and making sure that it goes with the cabinets and the handles and the light fixtures and the doorknobs. I love seeing the construction progress on site. There's nothing cooler than walking on the site and seeing what you've designed on paper come to reality. To try to do it all as one person, or to build a house under the direction of one person, would almost be impossible without missing out on some of the really important details. I think that clients get some comfort from knowing that we are going through the build process as a husband and wife at the same time that they are going through the process as a husband and wife. We bring 2 perspectives to the project when the client also is looking at it from 2 different perspectives. We've been through the build process before personally as a husband and wife, building our own home, let alone the dozens of houses we've built for other people. If we go through it for a living and we find it a little bit stressful, we can be pretty empathetic that they're under a lot of stress too, because they don't go through it for a living.
Building a house can be the most stressful thing that they'll ever do together as a couple, but I don't honestly feel like it needs to be. If we're organized, if we have all the proper pieces of the puzzle put together before we start, I do feel like it can go pretty smoothly without having to be the most stressful thing.
I think we take a lot of the guesswork out of it for the client. We know exactly which flooring company and exactly which cabinet company that we want to use, or which supplier or which trade. So their responsibility is to decide, okay, do I want the white or the gray cabinets? It's not, okay, I need to decide who I'm going to go see for cabinets, which person am I going to deal with at the cabinet shop. So we take a lot of the variables out of the process for the client so they can focus on the ones that actually matter to them. I find that a lot of the frustration for clients comes from not knowing where the money is being spent or how much has been spent where. So when we can track that to the penny throughout the process for them, it can help avoid overspending in some areas. So that really helps control the stress for them a bit too. We're really just striving to build a product that everybody can be proud of at the end of the day.